You have to become less human in order to even understand what it means to be human. Nobody gets what it means to be human. In fact, when you get it, the term human no longer applies. You're just consciousness, you're a being, you're an individuated expression of consciousness. Human, not human, sheep, non-sheep, alien, non-alien, it's all the same. Different forms of expression, but you know that you're consciousness with a frequency, period. Change your frequency, you feel different, you attract different circumstances, you learn at an accelerated fashion, you know that you are in control of your reality. You feel free, you feel happy, you feel good, you feel grounded. Do you feel human? Absolutely not. You don't. If you feel human, something is a little off. You're taking on something that humans made up. That's what it means to be human. Since there is no such thing as the human being, then if you do feel like a human, it simply means you're believing in something that other human beings also heard from other sheep-like human beings, and then everyone keeps repeating themselves. And what does it sound like? Thank you. Oh, hey, I can sing a little differently. Look, I'm being authentically human. You said meh, but I can say meh. And that's what we find joy in. That's what we think is authenticity. Authenticity comes from absolute certainty, clarity, freedom, joy, passion, excitement. In that state, you don't feel human. You also don't feel non-human per se, unless you bring in the story of your previous self. Then, in relationship to the story of your previous self, you could say and deduce, oh, I feel less human. But what did it even mean to be human in the first place? It doesn't really exist. So, consciousness is consciousness. Humanity does not exist. Human beings don't exist. You're not a human. You've never been human. You've only ever been consciousness. Can you argue that? Are you conscious of what I'm saying right now, or are you human being of what I'm saying right now? You're conscious of what I'm saying right now. That's the only thing you can prove. Do you feel a certain way? I'm assuming that you do. So you're consciousness with a feeling state. And that's all you ever experience. Even when you seem to experience circumstances, all you ever experience is, to whatever extent your point of view of the empty smoke and mirror circumstance, reflection of your consciousness, is either in or out of alignment. The further out of alignment that perspective is from the vibrational truth of consciousness, the worse you'll feel. Do you feel the circumstance? No, you've never felt the circumstance. You've only ever felt how you thought about it and whether or not your higher self disagrees with that or agreed with it. You are consciousness. You are a vibrational expression of this consciousness, and that's about it. You've never been human, you'll never be human, you'll never be beyond human. You've never been human, doesn't exist. So, be happy. Happiness takes you beyond the realm of thinking that you are human. And it shows you that you are consciousness, it shows you that you are clarity. Again, does that mean you become inhuman? No, obviously not, unless you want to sacrifice your integrity to the fact that everything is one being. And that everyone can have exactly what they desire without having to deprive you of what you desire, and you can have exactly what you desire without having to deprive any other portion of yourself of what they desire. It can all coexist. You take responsibility of your vibrational state of being. And you know, you have faith, you have confidence that that is how you generate your reality. You don't generate your reality by going out into the circumstances and thinking about the circumstances, or doing something with the circumstances. It doesn't really exist. I know that's hard to grasp, but the higher you go into the direction of being consciousness and being vibrational, you will start to actually experience that this is empty. Everything is energetic reflections of consciousness, of your vibration, and to what extent that's in alignment with another level of your consciousness. Just because we make the distinction between lower self and higher self doesn't mean you are not that one same consciousness. It's just different levels of vibratory understanding or self-reflection within that same overall consciousness that you are. So all that's ever going on is that you are consciousness, that you choose your vibratory state, and that based on your vibratory state, whatever that looks like, beliefs, thoughts, circumstances, you are in communication with yourself within yourself. With your consciousness within your consciousness. You can never leave that. So whenever you feel something, it's letting you know how in or out of alignment you are. So that's all that's happening. Consciousness, vibration, and guidance. That's all that's ever happening. So the sooner you understand that, the sooner you can let go of the physical, overly physical focus. There's nothing wrong with the physical focus because it's why you're here to an extent, to bring your non-physical self into a physical focus of some sort. However, when you forget that you're here to bring into physicality non-physicality, but you think that you're meant to bring physicality into non-physicality, which is not how you think about it, but that simply means, that translates as, oh, I believe that what is happening out there should indicate how I should feel non-physically. The physical determines how I should feel non-physically. It's the other way around. When you forget that, again, nothing wrong with the physical focus, but it just has to come from the right direction. It has to come from the direction of manifestation, not receptivity. Receptivity, or the lack thereof, does not mean that you're not receptive, does not mean you're not sensitive, does not mean you're not intuitive, does not mean you never tune into things, or people, or probabilities, or timelines, or however subtle you want to take this. Doesn't mean you never listen. Doesn't mean that you only ever just project your own nonsense onto things. It simply means that you get out of the mindset of circumstances should determine how I should feel about myself, and what I should act on, and how I should take action next, and what I should think next. When we take our cue from the circumstances, from the physical, we lose our sense of non-physical connection. And that's the worst space to be in. It's what we call being human. We don't want that. We don't want to be human. It sucks to be human. It sucks. Big ass, hard time, sucky. Okay. Whatever that means. It means to be human. So physicality versus non-physicality, or physical focus versus non-physical focus. Again, the physical focus is a beautiful aspect of creation. It shouldn't be renounced completely. It should simply be understood to be the tail end of your consciousness. It's the very end, like nothing really changes there. You can't really make any modifications there. And therefore, if you're stuck focusing yourself into that and taking your cue from that, you're never really changing. You never really move that much, that often, that fast. You're never that much in alignment with the truth of creation, with the truth of consciousness, with the truth of divinity. So you need to take a step back, relax your excessive focus upon the physical circumstances and what they mean. Remember that they don't mean anything. They're empty mirror reflections of your previous suggestions to life, your previous state of being. And now you start inserting your own reality into creation. And now you got it the right way around. Now you understand how creation works. It works from you into physicality, not from physicality into you. If you can even get this principle and fully start seeing it, and there's so many subtleties and so many degrees to this, that you simply have to practice with it. And even if you say, yes, I get it right now, 2 months from now, you look back and you say, no, I didn't really get it yet at that point, but I get it now. And then 2 months later, you say again, oh no, I had no clue back then, but I get it now, and I get it now. And that's part of the infinite expansion of your soul, of your spirit, of your consciousness, of your individuated understanding of all that is that you'll gain greater and greater and greater and greater absorption with who you are. Greater and greater samadhi, or union, as I called it in the last meeting, with who you truly are. Greater understanding, therefore. Higher state of consciousness, basically. Again, sounds fancy, but it's very organic. It's simply, once you allow yourself to move and know that you are mainly a non-physical creature, focusing portions of itself into physicality, like someone throwing a tennis ball, for example. When someone's throwing a tennis ball, they do not go chase the ball. They do not like fly after the ball. That's what we constantly do. We throw a seed out there. We plant a seed out there, we throw an idea out there, we throw a thought out there, an emotion, a state of being, an understanding, a belief, an action, and then we go chase it. What we do is we lose our non-physical malleable state of focus and connection and trust and faith and all these beautiful things spirituality talks about, which are all encapsulated by what I'm saying right now. And we become dense, we become physicalized, we feel stuck, we feel limited, we feel like we're lacking things, we feel like we're lacking the means and the resources, etc. If we stay as the guy that throws all the balls, and we simply enjoy the game from that point of view, then we've got it the right way around. Then we understand that it's meant to come from us into physicality, and that physicality is a reflection of us, and the only purpose it has is to show us how we've been doing vibrationally. Is to help us reflect upon our vibration, not upon our physicality. Don't ever reflect upon your physicality. Allow your physicality to help you reflect on you. Major difference, once again. Does that make sense? You use what you see physically Not in terms of, oh, this is solid, this is real, this is reality. I should take my cue from what I see. No, what you see should allow you to reflect upon what you've previously done to yourself vibrationally. What you've previously stated vibrationally. If you learn from the circumstances on a vibrational level, you will start to move faster and faster and faster. Your frequency will be higher and higher and higher. And at some point, this whole idea of being human disappears, and you start to relate as consciousness having a vibration. And you start to actually understand the universe. Because you are the universe, it's your universe. So you have all the rights to start to understand it a little bit better. You know nothing yet. And I don't mean this as an arrogant statement, I know nothing yet either. Like I said, every 2 months, you see yourself back 2 months ago and you say, I didn't have a clue. Same applies to me. So, we don't know shit. We don't know anything. Keep expanding, keep changing, keep evolving, keep understanding more and more and more so that you can let go of all the things that don't work easier and easier and faster, and you can actually start to live in a vibrational reality instead of a physical reality. Now, in a vibrational reality, there is no end to resources, there is no end to what is possible. In a physical reality, you are stuck because that's what it's designed to be, stuck. A frozen snapshot of reflecting your vibration. If you forget this, which is fine, you will suffer. You will feel stuck, you will feel limited, you will feel like you are at the whim of your circumstances when you never in fact are. Your circumstances are at the whim of you. So just get it the right way around and you're totally fine. Don't dismiss physicality, don't run away from it, don't walk away from it. You simply have to understand that you can totally be there, present to it, face it, but have this understanding shift from, oh, this means something, to, oh, nice, that means that I was doing this vibrationally. Ooh. Now I wish to insert this. Let's go to the non-physical imagination. Wow, that picture really resonates. This perspective of life really excites me. Boom, let me execute this, let me be this, let me become this. I feel great, I feel amazing. I take action according to what feels great. And then, maybe a week later, or maybe a minute later, doesn't matter, I will notice something in the circumstances will stand out to me, will call my attention. What does that mean? That I should react to that? No, I should learn from it and respond according to my desire. So it's a bit of a subtle science. As you hear, it may sound a little bit like, how am I going to do all that? But it's also very simple and intuitive simultaneously, no? It makes sense. Doesn't it make sense? It's kind of logical. And it's not that different from what you've been doing. You just reverse the process. Instead of taking your cue from your circumstances, you start to understand that your circumstances will take their cue from you. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, even if you say, oh, circumstances are king, then circumstances will reflect that. You're still in the creator seat, you can never actually be stuck. Even when you keep recreating the same loop, it's only because you keep recreating the same loop, not because your circumstances are actually solid, dense, linear, and limited. It's because you are thinking and feeling in limited ways.